Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It's Thursday, August 14th, a little after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Markets are closed, and this is our recap video of our Roundhill weekly paying funds. The first three are index-related covered call strategies, 0 DTE selling calls, QDTE for the NASDAQ 100, XDTE for the S&P 500, and RDTE for the Russell 2000. And then we also throw in there YBTC, which is a Bitcoin covered call strategy fund. It's not 0 DTE. It has synthetic positions that they sell weekly calls off of, covered calls off of, to generate income. Okay. If you don't follow me already on X, it's at ETF_inspector1. And I post the trades, these 0 DTE trades for these index funds each day. So this morning got this out right around 9:50. So they wait till the market opens, they make the trades, available within 15 minutes of the time they made them. So worst case scenario, I took an extra 4 minutes to get it out. But so let's go ahead and take a look. Obviously markets were down pretty good today. We had a little bit of a correction, call it a correction, but maybe improvement at the end of the day. We had our NASDAQ 100 pretty much flat, ended up negative 0.07%. The QDTE, the Roundhill fund selling calls based off of that, actually was up 0.08%. That's going to be because they are generated income selling the calls, and with it being practically flat, they're going to get to keep that. SPX, the S&P 500, was up 0.08%, and XDTE actually went down. We're going to see why in just a minute. And the Russell 2000 down 1.2%. RDTE practically even with it, 1.19% to the negative. So they basically went right along for the same ride. And then YBTC definitely outperformed its Bitcoin-related funds that it covers. CBTX was down almost 4% today, and IBIT, the other one, it was down over 4%, where YBTC was only down 0.6%. And again, I'll explain the reason for that as we dig into it. All right, I usually wait a little bit longer to make these videos, but I am on vacation and got plans this evening and afternoon, so I just wanted to start getting videos knocked out. So if things change slightly, I will adjust them on the spreadsheets. So we start off with QDTE. They sold calls, 364 of them. So let's see, that doesn't seem to make sense. 367. So that tells us we're going to see most likely a decrease of 3 contracts, probably people pulling their money out tomorrow. So they only sold 364 contracts at 23,880, collecting 32.83 per share, or $1.1 million. So getting nice and aggressive. We did get that negative PPI information before the market opened, so maybe they thought that it was going to be a down day, which for the most part they were right. If we take a look, NDX closed at 23,832, well below the 880. So with that being an aggressive sell, collecting $32 a share, there was still tons of room to go. So not sure why those came out looking like that, but full profit of $1.1 million, nothing, no cost to settle that out. As I've talked about before, we don't need to pay. I mean, these look like they're right, but sometimes these fund prices don't really settle out this early. That's why I pull up the stock screen. All right, yesterday was declaration day for QDTE. They declared 23.9 cents per share. You know, they actually go out 6 decimals, but In any case, roughly a 35% annual yield. Today was X date, so if you held the shares today, you'll be receiving your dividend tomorrow. Next declaration date is the following Wednesday, August 20th. There's $864 million in assets under management. As I said, as far as this morning's holdings download, there was no changes, but we've got a clue based on the fact that they only sold 3 less contracts than usual that we're probably going to see a decrease of 3 contracts. Not sure if they'll take it out of the closest expiration or the furthest or somewhere in between, but we'll find out, and I'll have it listed on there for you tomorrow. All right, no change in shares, but again, that's most likely going to be a decrease as well for us to have a decrease in contracts. So tomorrow is when I'm guessing we're going to see that. Roundhill is definitely not as quick to put out that type of information to us the way YieldMax is, but that's okay. Next, XDTE on the SPX. So they sold calls, 651 of them, at 64.60. SPX is still not done settling. So this is, so I'm going to adjust this. So it's $8.54 too high right now. But as you can see, even since I started that, that's adjusted by a couple dollars. So it will probably keep settling, and I will, I'll check it again later tonight to make sure all the numbers are correct. In any case, though, it ended up costing us on the trade. We collected $7 a share, $7.08. As of right now, it's looking like we're gonna have to pay about $8.54. So it's a little worse than breaking even, down 95,000 to the bad negative. As of right now, XDTE again declared yesterday. Today's X date 24.9, almost 25 cents per share. That comes out to be close to 30%, 29 and change, and that will be getting paid out tomorrow. 418 million as the assets under management, 9.4 million outstanding shares. I'd like to do another quick look because we were selling 651 contracts, so that's correct. And that's about all we got to talk about there. NAV and the closing price dead on with each other. Next we got RDTE selling calls on the Russell 2000. They selected 2310, 642 contracts, collecting $2.58 per share, 165,000. 2310 is well below the 22, or well above the 22.99, so no cost to close it out. Resulted in a full profit of the 165,000. That is why. That doesn't even make any sense. Can't say I could tell you why RDTE followed basically percent for percent after collecting the premium. Doesn't really make sense today, but is what it is. But that was the reason for XDTE why the S&P would go up and XDTE would not, because they ended up having to pay out the difference. So anything that their increase in value there would have been lost in spending. I do want to back up for just a second. They sold on XDTE 64.60. Not a good time for this. Market opened at 64.53, so that was real tight, less than $7 away. But they were expecting a downward trend, I guess, and SPX bucked the system. So, okay, back to RDTE though. Didn't pay anything to close it out. Collected 165,000. Holdings remain the same. 143 million assets under management. $4,250,000. NAV at the start of the day was 33.85. After the decrease, brought it down to 33. Well, that's the closing price, share price. It's going to be very close with the NAV once we update it tomorrow morning. Declared yesterday 31.3 cents, real nice and high. After today's decrease, that makes it a 48% annualized yield. It wasn't quite that when they declared it. So you'll be getting that paid in your account tomorrow, so long as that you were a holder of record all day today. You couldn't have bought it today. You couldn't have bought it in the pre-market. Had to have it yesterday. All right, and then finally YBTC. All right, so if both the other funds were down almost 4%, why was YBTC down only 0.7%? Well, it's going to be because their sold calls were already deep in the money. So they were roughly almost 4% in the money, and then after today, so they actually decreased to just 0.4% and 0.04% in the money. So where it was looking like when the day started they were going to have to pay $8.5 and $3.7 million to close these out, these numbers will be drastically decreased tomorrow when we get that new download. So this was a good day as far as winning their trades, but any decrease is not good for their synthetic. So their synthetic values starting the day at 10 million and 5 million, those will obviously drop a big amount as well. Today is payday for YBTC, so you already, I say you, we, right, because I have YBTC as well. So we got paid 34 cents per share, 34.2456 cents per share. All right, still 5.7 million outstanding shares, $282 million assets under management, and that's about it. So tomorrow's the last day of the trading week, so they will be closing out and rolling everything. They don't give us any of that information on YBTC, so we will just have to wait till the following day's holdings come out so we can see what the new strike prices are. But if they staying right about where they are would work out well. We'll be able to pay a fairly small amount to close these out and not give up any more value of our synthetics. Okay. Have a good rest of your day, and watch out for tomorrow's post with the trades, and then tomorrow's video. Thank you, and have a good night.